Here now, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. Pam, let's get your take on this. I thought Madeleine Brame was phenomenal, and I think she took that committee to task. And how dare they say she's a prop?
Sean, this is why Americans are outraged. For situations just like this, Mrs. Brame is a hero. She's brave. She is a grieving mother. She is why prosecutors go to law school, to prosecute cases, to be able to protect victims like her husband, who was almost mortally wounded, and her son, who was fatally killed, brutally killed. And as she said, the homicidal maniacs who killed her son are walking the streets. That's why real prosecutors want to go to court every day, to keep them off the streets and to protect people like her and her family. Yet Alvin Bragg is a disgrace, and Adam Schiff and his friends should be disgusted by the way they treated her. And Americans are outraged because of it.
Tammy, you live in New York. What's your reaction?
You know, it's remarkable to see a perfect example of what all Americans are feeling. And what's interesting is that these are people who just want to be living their lives, and they're kind of pulled into this environment because of the corruption, and we see the contempt, right? We talk about the forgotten man and woman and the contempt the government feels for us, but there it was on display. Is that there was like no, they're just so used to having no respect at all for the average American, and they just let it out. They're forgetting that we're watching this, or they don't care. There's this sense that a woman like that has no power. She and her son don't matter. There she is wearing apparently his dog tags. It's heartbreaking, but it's also very exciting in that this is a woman like moms across this country who isn't going to sit back and accept this kind of contempt and disrespect, which, of course, affected her son dramatically. He contributes to this country. He served this country. And that's the thanks he gets. And that's the attitude she gets. I mean, this was a revelation, a reminder to the American people why we do what we do. And it transcends politics. Republicans have plenty to complain about when it comes to Republicans. But my goodness, Democrats, they've got to come forward and admit that this is not the party that they knew. It is not representative of what will help their families, not just economically, but crime in every city, whether it's blue or red or anywhere else. This mentality, like a cancer, metastasizes everywhere. And Democrats, like that mom, have got to stand up and be vocal like that. Bravo to her. But she is, you know, politicians make a mistake. They think she might be an outlier. The fact of the matter is, she is us. We are all her, and they'd better be prepared for the next couple of years because we've had it.
Pam, let me ask you about Blinken getting 51 former Intel people to lie about Hunter Biden's laptop and the allegations of this whistleblower, which I think are very real, implicating even Merrick Garland. Your reaction?
Yeah, Sean, it's very frightening that this is happening. Thank goodness we have whistleblowers in this world who are willing to come forward. It's very important. It's crucial. And I think now the facts are going to come to light. We have to have whistleblowers. More people, if you're out there, come forward. Don't be afraid to come forward. We now have people like Jim Jordan in Congress who are going to protect you and to be able to look out for you so you can tell the truth. I think it's going to be detrimental to Hunter Biden and to Blinken, as it should.
What's your take on that, Tammy? To me, this is outright lying, propaganda, misinformation to influence a presidential election, the highest level in our government these people served.
Yes, this is, it's very important because the letter itself, the whistleblower protections are only happening because the Republicans have the House. But when it comes to that letter, this is, you know, we can talk about corruption and certain people being bad guys. It's almost as though this government is being run like a cartel. And it's not just, again, I don't care what party you belong to. This is about the next generation and our responsibility for the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dead who fought for this country, right? The Revolutionary War,
Tammy,
the fields of
Gettysburg. It's even worse than that.
Well,
because we know the FBI was meeting with big tech every week telling them
it's a cartel.
they may be victims of a misinformation campaign
Of
and
course.
it may be about Hunter Biden. Then you have 51 former top intel officials lie to the American people. Is that election interference?
It's election interference, but what's interesting is the seed had to be there from the start to be able to put this together. You know, I don't know how much convincing they had to do of these people, but I'm going to guess not much. And that's what we have to realize. These are not in the moment one-off dynamics. This is the result of a cancer that has been coddled and allowed and has been able to move forward without being pushed back on. That's the only reason they were able to do this in front of people, and then to have it be exposed and to still have no one be taking responsibility or to have any kind of law and order face them as a result of this, telling you that the corrupt system that allowed that, the cancer that allowed that, is still running through the body of this country.
All right, Pam,
it was a coordinated effort.
Yes, exactly.
It was a coordinated effort.
Yeah, well said. I mean, you know what? Dangerous, too. All right, thank you both.